All right, well, the Chiefs traded away a wide receiver. A wide receiver that I wasn't sure would have much trade value here, but when you have a team desperate enough, multiple hits to their wide receiver room, we'll get into it. You want to get a receiver that you think, hey, this guy could probably work out in our system. And this receiver that the Chiefs just traded, Skyy Moore, was not going to clear waivers. So the 49ers went ahead and said, hey, Chiefs, Brett Veach, help us. We have a bunch of wide receivers injured, and your former friend in Demarcus Robinson getting suspended for the first 3 games of the 2025 NFL season. Can we please get a receiver? And Brett Veach was like, I got Skyy Moore. You want Skyy Moore? They're taking him. I want to process through that and pay some respect to Skyy Moore as well. So here's what's going on. The 49ers were extremely banged up. Okay? Brandon Ayuk is not going to start the season until week 6 or so. He's going to start on the PUP list. Jawan Jennings is dealing with a calf injury. Jordan Watkins, a depth piece guy, high ankle sprain. You then had another wide receiver re-injure his hamstring today. I'm trying to remember who that is because Adam Schefter didn't even mention that guy. And then Demarcus Robinson is facing a 3-game suspension. Okay? So, the Chiefs are trading Skyy Moore to the 49ers. And it's a pick swap, late round. A 6th and 7th round pick swap. The Chiefs will get the 49ers 2027 6th, and the 49ers will get KC's 2027 7th. Okay. Skyy Moore was not making this roster, guys. Okay. We all knew that. We've done how many 53-man roster projections? I just did another one today and had Skyy Moore not making it. They didn't have the trade info in here because that hadn't gone down yet. But your best bet with the Chiefs for a few different players, it was 3 players in particular, was maybe you could trade them and get a little bit of value out of them rather than letting them go and being claimed by another team and just walk away for nothing. Those 3 players to me were Skyy Moore, Josh Williams, and Felix Anudike-Uzomah. Well, Felix tore his hamstring or really jacked up his hamstring in this last preseason game, and he got placed on season-ending IR. So there's only 2 options, Skyy Moore and Josh Williams. And there's a bunch of teams around the NFL kind of sniffing around needing wide receiver help. I already broke down why the 49ers needed wide receiver help. Well, the Chiefs said, hey, we got a couple guys. And here's what is intriguing for maybe the 49ers with Skyy. He's a former 2nd-round pick. No, he did not work out. He made some contributions that I think we should pay some respect for. He had a good punt return in one of the playoffs. He had a touchdown, and I think it was Super Bowl 57. This is champagne problems when all the Super Bowls blend together because the Chiefs have made so many in recent years. But that was the Super Bowl against, I believe the Niners, the team that just traded for him it was the Eagles. I think that was the Eagles, actually. Back-to-back touchdowns from Skyy and Tony. Regardless, it doesn't matter what Super Bowl. But when you have a wide receiver that you have high aspirations for, the Chiefs had the ability. Here's what's really crazy. The Chiefs had the ability in this draft in 2022. They could have drafted Pickens. They could have drafted Tyquan Thornton. But they traded from, I think, pick 50 to 54. They traded back from 50 to 54. Pickens went off the board. Tyquan Thornton went off the board. And then the Chiefs drafted Skyy Moore. Well, here's what's crazy about that. Tyquan Thornton is on the roster because he didn't work out with the Patriots. They let him go. The Chiefs signed him to their practice squad in November. He marinates, slow cooks, learned the system, and now he's probably making your 53-man roster. In fact, this almost guarantees it. There was only like a small part of me in the back of my mind that said, oh my God, Skyy Moore just housed an 88-yard punt return in this last preseason game. Somehow, some way, somebody is going to justify Skyy making the roster over somebody like Tyquan Thornton or Nico Remigio. Well, that didn't happen. Did Skyy work out in Kansas City? No. He hasn't caught a pass in a regular season game since, I think, December of 2023. I am rooting for him. If I see him on the field with the 49ers in a game, I'm going to cheer him on and hope that he succeeds. I'm going to hope that he's able to get over what Dave Tobe himself said is a mental block. He's got to get over the mental aspect of things. He's a guy that puts his head down. He works hard. He grinds. He stays out of trouble. He does all the right things off the field, in the training room, in the practice room, but it does not translate on the football field. This was the guy that wasn't going to make your 53-man roster, and the Chiefs flipped a 6th and a 7th with the 49ers, basically moving up one round to trade Skyy, who wasn't going to make this roster. Now, in a perfect world, would you have rathered Skyy Moore to work out and play out the last year of his rookie deal and be wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, and he's a guy that you know we're going to get 400 to 600 yards this year? Of course. But it didn't pan out. It didn't work out. It was a miss. FAU, we'll see. Hamstring injury out for the year. That's looking like a miss. There's misses. It happens. It's unfortunate. CEH was looking good before his injury when they drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round years back. But then he didn't come back looking right either. There's misses. There's hits. The 49ers really needed the wide receiver help, and the Chiefs went ahead and were able to flip a guy for a late-round pick swap that wasn't going to make the roster anyway. Matthew with the 2 said, thank God he does answer prayers. Thank you so much for the 2, man. Jennifer with the 24 bomb said, let's freaking go. Thank you again, San Francisco. Xander with the 22 months. Let's freaking go. No Skyy Moore. I laughed hysterically when I read the news. Greatest day of my life. Yeah, it's easy to throw Skyy under the bus and pile on him. I was even saying this morning, hey, if anybody needs a wide receiver, Skyy Moore is available. It's no secret that he was either going to be traded or not make the roster. He didn't fit here. It wasn't going to work out. I was happy that the last play he ever had for the Kansas City Chiefs was an 88-yard punt return. But the writing was on the wall. This was no secret. The wide receiver room doesn't change for me. It's still Rice, who is probably starting the season on the roster unless they settle and a suspension is reached, where Adam Schefter thinks it's going to be 5 to 6 games suspension. It's still Rice, Worthy, Hollywood, Juju, Royals, Tyquan Thornton, and Nico Remigio right now. To me, as your punt returner, that's the 7 wide receivers that are making it. Skyy wasn't in the mix for that. You can say, well, Nico Remigio doesn't do too much on the offense. He will catch a ball. He'll catch a couple passes. He's done that in these preseason games. He hasn't been lighting the statistical scoreboard up. No, but he's catching passes. So it's either going to be Nico or Jason Brownlee. You could still have Jason Brownlee in the mix to make this roster if Skyy starts the season suspended. Sorry, Rice starts the season suspended. Skyy's gone. But as of right now, I don't think Brownlee makes it. And Skyy is on the 49ers. I'm happy for him. That is a well-ran organization. That is, if anybody can get the most out of Skyy, if the Chiefs weren't able to make it happen in their scheme and how they're able to work with players and Mahomes is able to draw out the best of them, Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers can do it. Potentially. I don't have any expectations for him to go over there and light the world on fire, but I am going to root for the guy. And I think hopefully you guys will too. We can be happy for the fact that, hey, the Skyy Moore experiment is over, but also be happy for him getting a fresh start in a new chapter with a new team. He wasn't going to work out anyway. And so that's kind of where we are with everything. We shall see what ends up happening. I saw somebody just say Kyle Shanahan is trying to turn Skyy Moore into Debo Light. I don't know how they're going to end up using the guy. Some people said, hey, if Skyy Moore can be used more as a running back behind the line of scrimmage and stuff like that, he would be more effective. Maybe that'll be a good thing for him. He'll never be a Debo, I don't think, or anything like that. But I'll be very intrigued. If any team can bring something out of Skyy Moore at this point in his NFL career after trying for 3 seasons with the Chiefs, I think it could be the 49ers. It's a pretty wild situation. I could not believe it when I saw the news because I just thought, hey, nobody's going to trade for Skyy. It's not happening. He has no value, especially after dropping 2 passes and muffing a kickoff last game. I said he has no value. It's not happening. It happened. And Skyy Moore probably wasn't going to clear waivers. So now the 49ers make sure they get him. Don't have to worry about the waiver wire. They could bring him in soon, this week. You don't have to wait for cutdowns next week. He can get integrated into the system. Maybe, I don't know if he's going to play in this preseason game or not. Maybe he will get a little bit of reps. It seems too early. I don't even know when the 49ers play. I know the Chiefs play on Friday. The 49ers could play Saturday or Sunday. There might be time there. But hey, at the end of the day, Skyy didn't pan out. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, helped contribute in one of them. And outside of that, he struggled. It did not work out. But it's over. Chapter's done. That book is closed, and Skyy's going to move on. Chiefs fans are going to move on. He will always be a divisive player that some weren't even sure should have made the roster last year. But here we go. Vote Cole for Fan of the Year. Dude, thanks for the kind words, man. And then Golden, thanks for the membership as well. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you think about Skyy Moore being traded to the 49ers. And if you have something positive to say, I would love to read it in the comments too, because honestly, these players that don't pan out where they were drafted, they really do get on by the fan base. And we all have fun with it too. But there is legitimate people that say, I hate Skyy Moore. I wish he was never here. Wish he was like, they take it a little too far. So there is the dichotomy there of I'm probably glad he's gone, but I also wish him well. I thank you for what you've done and wish you well in your next chapter. This guy never talked trash to the fans. This guy just put his head down and work. So that's kind of where I'm at with the whole thing. Let me know where you're at with it in the comments down below. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?